Well, it looks like we've been having a pretty sweet week on the marketplace here because we have another awesome free demo for one of my favorite games, Forza Motorsport. We got Forza Motorsport 4 coming out this October, just like Battlefield 3. And I am a huge Forza 3 fan. It's one of the few games I actually got the full gamer score on, and I actually dragged my face through season mode to complete all the races. Not to say I'm the best Forza player in the world, but I'm a big fan of cat and mouse online. So as you can see, here's the starting screen, and there's a couple options here, quick race and rivals. And I decided to check out rivals first, and we got my buddy Gary, apparently is my rival, and that random person who isn't even on my friends list. But this is my first time actually playing the game here, so I figured, oh, why not, beat Gary and shame his face. So here we go. I'm picking the car. Well, actually, for this race, you don't pick the car. You're given a car to challenge your rival with. And we got the sweet new M5, which is the nice cover art car for Forza 4. And obviously, you got to go in that flat black. Well, actually, it's not flat black. But as for the options here for the difficulty, I've always done expert. But there's some new options here. For instance, you can actually turn rewind off. And generally, I just put on braking only line because it's my first time doing this track, so I don't really know what to expect. And I do need to make sure Gary looks like an idiot when I do this race. So, looking around, there's only like 4 cars in the demo, 4 or 5 cars. So, as you can see here, it tells you the racetrack. It also says track conditions and weather. So that makes me think that in the full version of the game, you're going to be able to pick the time of day, which is something that was very requested. And maybe there's a temperature option, but from what I could tell while racing, the temperature actually affects your racing because the traction on your car doesn't seem to be as good. So here we go. Oh, see, now the one thing I kind of had a peeve here was the background. Like generally Forza, it's absolute eye candy everywhere, but if you look at the very background, it's kind of lame in some points of the race. And over here, I'm not really a cockpit driver, so I go for the outside view kind of quickly here. And my first impression of the game, this is with the new quote-unquote professional steering options, is the driving here is a lot more realistic. One thing you might notice here is I'm passing cars, and when I was doing this I was kind of shocked because I thought it was just a bunch of ghost cars or something, but no, those are actual cars on the track. And I find this rival race to be actually really fun. See, I kind of hit the wall there because I'm not used to the steering yet, but I think this game mode is already insanely fun compared to, racing on an empty track where it's just kind of, follow the lines if you have that option on, or use your regular racing line. You kind of have to use your brain here, or not your brain, because as you can see, I do, bump grind a couple cars, I hit a couple walls here, but, it's my first time playing the game. I just want to beat Gary, and I do a pretty good job here. I think I actually lose the lead as I rear-end this car. Yeah. I come back and win this one though, so just so Gary knows, you do get schooled. And Gary's a homo because why does he pick the white BMW? I mean, who does that? You gotta go with the black, maybe the dark blue, but not the white. That's just gay. You don't want a gay car in this game. So a couple of things that I'll talk about, and you really can't tell, and you won't really understand until you play the game, I feel, is that the steering as a whole, it's much more realistic, it's much more loose. Now if you played Gran Turismo, and I used to be a big fan of the Gran Turismo series until I played Forza Motorsport, is that take drifting for instance in Gran Turismo, it's so easy to do. It's like there's no skill to it really, it's just kind of like, oh, swing my stick that way, swing my stick this way, and that's a drift. But in this game, it's more turning and you actually have more control over your car. And there you can see I beat Gary, so I'm just like, it was asking me to do another lap. I said nah, I already beat Gary, I don't need to. And I'm looking at the leaderboard here. I think my time was about 152, and I'm just looking at the guys next to me, and I actually go to look at the top time, and I think the top time is like a whopping 30 seconds faster than me. Here we go, 134. So 134 compared to 152, which was my time. And as you can see, this is on the top. Most of the players have all the assists off, which it gives you more control on your car, but more responsibility. And so you got your splash screen here. It's coming out October 11th. I already pre-ordered this. Oh, as you can see, my controller died just in time, so I didn't crash my car into a wall uncontrollably. But I did pre-order this ahead of time, so I'm supposed to get some gnarly car, which is some other BMW. And as you can see here, it shows you some of the other rival races. And the other one gives you a Ford or something, and the other one's a Zonda. So now that I got a feel for the game, I thought I would dick around. And one thing I had to try was actually doing an all-wheel drive car. Now, in Forza 3, all-wheel drive cars were pretty overpowered in circuits. It's just they had better traction and they really didn't have a trade-off. So over here I went again with all the assists off, just leaving on the driving line here. And I wasn't really racing to race here, I was just kind of racing to dick around, I think. I don't really remember, but I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do some drifting, but there's no drift option here. And personally, when I play online, mainly all I do is cat and mouse. And if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much you have one really slow car on 2 teams, and then you have 3 fast cars. And the idea of the race is to actually let the slow car win for your team. So you can either smash the other car or protect your car. And it is the most fun I've ever had in a racing game. So if you do get this game, definitely check out that game mode. It is a blast. So let me see. Do I jerk around here? Oh, I remember I did. Alright, I'm going to show you the cockpit view, because one of the selling points, of course, of Forza is they actually detail the entire cockpit for every car. So this is what you would look at if you were actually in the car. And, you know, I'm checking it out for you. I do have a Kinect downstairs, but I do not have it hooked up to my Xbox, so I didn't get a chance to try out if the Kinect sensor for your head, like you tilt your head left, it looks left, you tilt your head right, looks right, but I haven't tried that out, but maybe I will. So here I'm just getting a feel for the all-wheel drive. See, now with the all-wheel drive here, you actually do lose control at points. Now obviously I'm trying to the extreme here to spin my car out, but it is much better than Forza 3, and hopefully when we look at the leaderboards for Forza 4, we'll actually see rear-wheel drive cars, maybe even a couple front-wheel drive cars being competitive on the online circuit and on the leaderboards. So here, you know, I'm just kind of blowing my brains out doing donuts and whatnot. Well, I'm actually trying to do a burnout here, but I haven't exactly figured out how to do it in an all-wheel drive car. Or maybe you just can't, or maybe the power level on it isn't high enough or whatever. But you know, I'm just pretty much thoroughly enjoying the game here. Now, I think I might cut out some of this because I am just being an idiot, and we'll get to some more of the good stuff. Alright, so I ended up going back to the original screen and checking out one of the Ferraris. And again, just playing with the colors here. Nothing too special, and I stay with pretty much the same settings here. I didn't actually try the no assist settings because I've never really liked that mode, and it's always been very arcadey to me. If you want to make this an arcade racer, play with all the assists, and you pretty much got that. But if you want a real racing simulator, play without everything. And I just find it more entertaining, because otherwise it's just me rolling my face across the controller to first place over and over. And again, you see it gives you the stats on the track. And it should be exciting if you could actually change the weather to change your traction on the car. And hopefully they finally did implement nighttime driving. Not that it really adds to the game as a whole, but it's just a nice thing to have. A cool, you know, nighttime racing, since they spent all the time on the detail in the car, you might as well see the headlights or something. So, again, same track. I don't think they have any other tracks on this demo. I only played it for a few minutes. I just wanted to get this video up here for you guys to check it out. And, you know, of course, all the cars look super duper sweet. Cockpits look sweet. And I don't know if this is just a demo thing, but it always starts you in cockpit view. I'm guessing that's just a demo thing, because normally it lets you select one for all time. Now here I'm actually pushing myself to not suck, but I do end up sucking, so I just want to highlight some things here. If you looked in the top left, there's actually a little bar that said pass, and here you go. Now there's one for drift. I don't know if those mean anything, but oh, there's one for turn too. So I don't really know what those bars mean. I'm assuming it's maybe a bonus system. Like maybe you guys remember Project Gotham had the kudos. It'd be like, oh, kudos, you drifted for no reason. I mean, the drift, or not the drift, I think there's actually a drift and a draft, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, and I'm not just reading typos. But yeah, there you go, draft. So you can actually draft cars now, which actually, it was in Forza 3, but it really wasn't noticeable. You didn't have a bar saying, you know, like you got 4 bars of drafting or whatever. It could be that maybe it's a part of some sort of challenge or achievement that they'll be throwing in the game, but that is a new addition to the game. Other than that, the HUD is pretty much the same as in Forza 3. I feel like everything's more pronounced though. Like you see your place marker is huge, your lap marker is huge, and your timer is huge. Speedo is pretty much the same, and the track rotating is, again, pretty much the same standard thing that we've had in Forza. And other than that, you know, I like the game. They haven't changed very much, but I do like the change to the controls, and it makes the game feel a lot more realistic. And for people who enjoy the simulation aspect of the game, I think it'll be more enjoyable. And the customizations that you do in tuning your car will mean even more now than they did in the previous Forza. Here you can see where I absolutely lose it, and I say screw this. I obviously lost after that wall, and I'm pretty sure I get walled again trying to go way too fast here. But another thing is you actually do lose control of your car now. I mean, in Forza yeah, you kind of lost control of your car. You spin the wheel a couple times and you're back on straight. But here, if you lose it, you lose it. And I think this is where I lose it. I try to drift into this turn, and then when I drift back, I just cannot get it straight. And this will happen if you are playing, you know, with a very high-powered or PI rated car. And I'm assuming the PI system is more functional here. Now, the last thing I did here is actually check out the smoke effects, because one of the general community criticisms on Forza 3 was your wheels didn't smoke. And here, as you can see, they have added some smoking to the wheels. It's kind of hard to get. When I go here in reverse, it's easy. And maybe in the final release, it'll be even more detailed and super epic when you're drifting. So, I think it's a cool demo. Obviously, download it, try it out. If you like it, get the full game. I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. In the meantime, I'll just be doing donuts here. So, guys, let me know how you like the video, and let me know if you want shorter videos, because I'm trying to go for about 10 minutes, maybe longer. But hope you enjoy this one. Actually, one last thought. This arcade racer music needs to go. In the demo you can't get rid of it, but in the full game you can play your own tracks. I just needed to say that.